Hey, how are you? Good, good, good. I think Michael got that. They want to come over here, yeah, great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the note. Yeah, yeah. He just sent a call sheet, and I just saw it. I'm curious.
Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Audio test. This is the facilitator, Mike. Good morning. Facilitator, Mike, check. 1, 2, 3. Facilitator, mic check. We're testing for the audio to come through, hoping that it's coming through on Zoom and on the YouTube channel, the board's YouTube channel.
Okay, he says he got it, but he's waiting on YouTube.
Okay. It is Friday, April 17th. Friday, April 17th in the city of Los Angeles. Beautiful day outside. We have a relatively short agenda. It'll probably take about, our meeting will probably last about an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's what I predict.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning to our attendees who are joining us. Good morning, city staff, bureau executives, commissioners, city attorney, members of the PAO who are joining us here in the hearing room. If there's any member of the public who wishes to offer commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, hand it to me, and I'll record your information for the record, and then we'll call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do see a couple of hands raised. I'm going to ask you to unmute, identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on. I'll record your information and then call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning, Jennifer Spencer.
Hi, good morning. I'd like to have public comment, please.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of background noise on my end. Can you please repeat that?
Public comment, please.
Very well. I have you down for public comment. Thank you, Jennifer. I am going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And Audit LA, good morning.
Good morning, TJ. I would like public comment and all agenda items, please.
Very well. I have you down for public comment and multiple agenda item commentary.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand and put you back on mute. If there's anyone else who wishes to offer commentary and you're joining us on the virtual platform, please raise your hand, *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute. And it is 9:42. I'll make another call out for members of the public wishing to offer commentary in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
The other side? Do we need to sit in a special way?
هسه هو الكم.
Okay. Where is the speaker? Well, the camera's trying to figure out where to be. I'm going to be speaking this way. You're going to be speaking, so they're going to set up on that side to look this way. See, I set him on that side to look this way. Okay.
John, the Ottoman Turkish army is a wonderful group of individuals. They protected the Ottoman country from the invasion of these evil, illegal immigrants. Do you know that, John? You just can't cross into people's territories without asking for permission. But who's to say? I'm just a god. We got five more minutes before this meeting, John. Yeah, 5 more minutes. And I want the world to understand that, when the Jews killed that one man for power and greed, it affected the entire world. And that's why God sent me down from heaven as a watcher, but I was influenced to become an evil person like the rest of the people in the world. Now I'm a Nephilim, a child of the Nephilim, a giant. But again, John, People don't believe in the Nephilim. Yeah. You got 5 more minutes, John. Meeting starts at 10. You gonna start it early on time? Yeah. The last time you guys started it late, I couldn't show up. Was that intentional?
Good morning to our attendees, city staff, members of the public, honorees, bureau executives, commissioners, city attorney, PAO, who are joining us here in the board hearing room, and welcome to the board's hearing room. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer public comments or commentary on any of our agendized items, and you've not already done so, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on, hand it to me. I'll record information for the record. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. If you've not already done so and you wish to offer public comment, would you please raise your hand? I'll ask you to unmute, identify yourself for the record, and which item you'd like to speak on. I'll record your information, and then I'll call upon you when we reach your item. I do see Miriam. You have your hand raised. Good morning.
Good morning, TJ. I would like to give a general public comment, please.
Very well. I have you down for public comment. Thank you. I'm going to put you back on mute and lower your hand. It is 9:56, and we should get started with the board meeting shortly. Thank you.
Three more minutes, John. 3 more minutes. Yeah. You know, John, ever since Los Angeles made me homeless, I decided not to go to church no more. Yeah, but the meeting hasn't started. We don't have a quorum. Yeah. But John, I'm trying to explain to you that I used to be a very healthy, religious person. I believe that God loved you, John. He loved the people here. He loved my dog here. Whether we're black, brown, Asian, or some foreigner from an illegal country, you have to understand, God loves you, John. I'm here to profess the sovereignty of the one true God. Even Ernesto knows what I'm talking about, although he might go to Catholic school or something, but I stopped going. I read the Bible in the book of Revelation 21:3-4. It read, God shall wipe out every tear from every man and woman in here if you have faith in God. But in the book of Revelation chapter 20, it talked about the third of the stars falling to the earth, John. It's very bad. As much as I love to be an American, what are we down to, John? 1 minute? 2 minutes, John. 2 minutes before the meeting starts. But I'm going to sit down now because I'm going to enjoy my breakfast, all right?
President King, we are in record mode and ready to begin.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, April 17, 2026. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Good morning, President King. TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works taking roll at establishing quorum. We have President King, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas present. We do have a quorum. We are joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Darrell Field. Once again, I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. President King, we have 4 public commenters and 4 multiple agenda item commenters here in the hearing room. And we have 3 public commenters and 1 multiple agenda item commenter on the virtual platform. And we have no neighborhood council commentary submitted this morning.
All right. Thank you very much. So welcome everybody to the Board of Public Works meeting. Before we take public comment, we're going to go right into our special presentation for Arab American Heritage Month. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you and welcome. If we could first start off with Maestro Adel Eskandar with the musical celebration, or actually commemoration of this event.
Thank you.
Maestro, thank you. What you gave this room cannot be done with words alone. Music reaches places that language cannot. And in the Arab tradition, that is not a poetic observation. It is a truth that has been understood for thousands of years. There's a concept in Arab music, if I may, tarab, the state of a deep feeling that great music produces, not merely pleasure, something closer to being moved at the level of the soul. This is what you gave us, and we are grateful. Before I say anything else, I want to acknowledge what many of you are carrying into this room today. The world outside these walls has been very heavy. Many of the lands that shape the families in this room are in pain. The distance between celebration and sorrow is not always as wide as we would like it to be. Many of you hold both today. So does this room. We know this, we feel this, and we are not going to pretend otherwise. Some members of our Arab community have chosen not to be here today, and we respect that choice completely. Grief has its own calendar. It does not observe our schedules. To those of you who are here, your presence in this room, in this season, is an act of courage. We do not take that lightly. We are proceeding today not because grief doesn't matter, but because the people in this room have earned this moment, and because honoring them is itself a form of resistance against the idea that Arab lives are only visible when they are in pain. The Arab American story is not only the story of suffering, it is a story of building, of endurance, of showing up for this city, for this department, for each other, even in the hardest weeks, especially in the hardest weeks. I understand also there's an Arabic word for that, samud, steadfastness, the quiet, unbreakable refusal to be erased. This room is full of that. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge the consular representatives who have joined us today. If I can find my list. This always happens. Consulates from Lebanon, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Iraq, and the Los Angeles Beirut Sister Cities Committee. Thank you. Your presence here in a season like this one is itself an act of faith in diplomacy, faith in community, faith in the possibility of a shared world. We do not take that for granted. To every Arab American in this room, the nations and cultures that shaped you are represented here today. That is not a small thing, That is everything. We're grateful that you are with us. This room is yours. Arab Americans have been part of the fabric of this country for more than a century, longer in truth than most Americans recognize. They came first as merchants and peddlers, as laborers and entrepreneurs. They came fleeing war and poverty, as immigrants have always come here, carrying what they could and building what they could not carry. They came with languages that sounded foreign and values that were anything but that. Family loyalty, a reverence for education, a ferocious work ethic, and what I can only call an insistence on dignity. The insistence on dignity is what I see every day in the work of this department. I see it in the engineers who design infrastructure for communities that don't have enough, who sit with blueprints and ask, not only will this work, but will this be fair? I see it in the construction inspectors who hold the line for worker protections and public standards, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. I see it in the sanitation workers who hold the line on worker protections while the rest of the city before the rest of the city is awake, before dawn, before traffic, before the morning news, so that when Los Angeles opens its eyes, it is clean, that the city works, so that people who live here can be treated with dignity, even in the most basic of things. And I see it in street lighting. The engineers who make sure that no neighborhood goes dark, that every street, every corner, every block where a family lives and a child walks home at night is lit. That is not a technical function. That is a moral one. You cannot have a just city if parts of it are left dark. These are not abstract civic virtues. They are the daily choices of real people, Arab Americans who chose public service because they believe the city belongs to everyone. Kahil Gibran, the Lebanese American who is one of the most mildly read writers in human history, and when I was in college was a mainstay of every co-ed's bookshelf, wrote something that I've been thinking about all week. He wrote, "Work is love made visible." He was describing, without knowing it, Nabi Akar and Maya Atiyah, Samer Hussein, and Siraj Abu Hosn, the four colleagues who we're about to honor today. He was describing everyone in this room. And I want to tell you quickly about a poem. Naomi Shihab is a Palestinian-American poet, and her poetry I put on the table outside for you to read. It's 2 pages. She was born to a refugee father, raised between Jerusalem and San Antonio. She is one of the great voices of Arab American literature and one of the great voices of American literature, full stop. In a poem called Gate A4, she finds herself stranded in an airport with an elderly Palestinian woman who speaks no English and believes her flight has been canceled. Nai puts her arm around her. She makes calls. They find shared friends. She calls Palestinian poets that she knows, just to let them chat with this woman who is frightened and alone. Strangers offer cookies. The woman starts to laugh. And at the end of it, all of them covered with powdered sugar in the mamul cookies, which are also on the table outside for all of you to enjoy. Nay looks at that gate of late and the weary ones around it and says, "This is the world I want to live in, the shared world." She wrote that poem in the aftermath of September 11th, when Arab Americans were being seen only through the lens of fear and suspicion. She chose in that moment to write about powdered sugar and shared laughter. The act of insistence on beauty, on connection, on a shared world, it itself is a form of courage. It is the same courage that brings people in this room to work every morning, and is the same courage that brings all of us here today. In a moment, I'm going to ask my colleague and co-architect of something I'm genuinely proud of, Jumana Silian Saba, to tell you about the mentoring program we are inaugurating today. Jumana serves as Director of Civic Engagement and Human Rights within the city's Civil, Human Rights, and Equity Department. I chose to build this with her not only because of her expertise, but because of what she understands in her bones, that mentorship is not a benefit, it is a right, that the next generation of public servants deserve a hand extended, not a door closed. In a season when the world feels heavy, the act of investing in the next generation is its own form of hope. It says, we believe there will be a future. We are building it now. Jumana?
Thank you so much, Commissioner Grant, for your heartwarming, thoughtful, and I'd have to say, just listening to you speak and describe the Arab American experience in the U.S. is just really, I'm deeply grateful. I've been in the city for 20 years, and this is the first time that I've actually heard this beautiful depiction of the Arab American community, and I'm so grateful. Good morning, Board of Commissioners. Sabah al-Khair. It is truly heartwarming to be standing here with you all to recognize the contributions of Arab Americans, as was so beautifully depicted by Commissioner Grant. At LA Civil Rights, we commemorate all heritage celebration and truly uplift a vibrant mosaic that makes our beautiful city uniquely placed as a story of pluralism. But this morning is especially meaningful to me. On a personal note, as an Arab American of Armenian ancestry, I am fortunate to celebrate both Arab American and Armenian Heritage Month in the month of April. I take immense pride in roots that stretch back to ancient civilizations who developed the earliest letters, governance laws, and laid the foundation for modern intellect exchange and civic order. Arab Americans contribute deeply to all aspects of life in the United States. From the world-renowned philosopher Gibran Khalil Gibran, who I'm certain almost everybody in the room has had a chance to read his poetry, to modern science, making remarkable advancements in medicine, academic research, fashion, economic development, government, military, philanthropy, and of course, arts and culture. Because who does not know Omar al-Sharif, Rami Malek, Tony Shalhoub, Zico Zaki, who stars on the FBI TV show. While Arab Americans continue to be active contributors in numerous fields, they also navigate persistent stereotypes, inaccurate media depictions, inflammatory, hateful rhetoric often encountered on social media. This becomes even more profound during times of conflict, especially as tensions continue to be on the rise in the Middle East. In the recently released hate crimes report by LA County, there was an increase of 118% in hate crimes directed at Arab Americans between 2023 and 2024. I feel a deep sense of responsibility to break boundaries in pursuit of peace and understanding, knowing firsthand, the divisive and hateful rhetoric can lead to unspeakable atrocities. As the Director for Civil Rights Enforcement, I oversee the implementation of the human rights law, which prohibits discrimination against everyone who lives, works, or visits the city of Los Angeles. I started my city career in 2021 as an intern. Along the way, I have had the good fortune of coming across wonderful people who opened the door for me, who mentored me, and gave me opportunities to lead. I want to particularly express my deepest gratitude once again, Commissioner Grant, for the visionary leadership in spearheading a dedicated internship pipeline specifically designed for Arab American students. By creating these pathways, we are not only enriching our own workforce, but also providing students and upcoming leaders with the mentorship and professional development necessary to build long-term meaningful careers within the city of Los Angeles. This internship pilot initiative relies on the partnership and help of all of you present in this room to encourage Arab American university students who are eager for internship opportunities within public works and various city departments. And given your presence, and we have various professional Arab American organizations here today, as well as representatives of the Consular Corps, we would value your perspectives on how we can most effectively collaborate with Public Works to establish and strengthen these career pipelines for students. As I close, I want to thank everyone in this room. I hope that standing together this morning is an opportunity for hope, especially now at this very difficult time when so many of us with ties to the region are experiencing tremendous amount of pain. Los Angeles will always be a place where everyone belongs. And this is where LA Civil Rights uplifted an LA for All campaign in multiple languages. And I encourage everyone in this room to pick up those posters. This is an award-winning campaign that was launched several years ago to uplift a city for everyone, a city that is a beacon of hope, but a city that is a beacon for lasting peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Jumana. Now, without further ado, let's recognize our honorees. First, I would ask Bureau Chief Inspector of Public Works, John Reamer, to present the first honoree, Samer Hussein.
Good morning, Mr. President, Commission President, board members, Executive Officer, and Madam City Attorney. So I am pleased to present our honoree, Samer Hussein. But before I do, I just want to say, you know, sometimes we come to these celebrations, monthly celebrations, and this community is different. I mean, there's people here from other departments, past employees from the department. You mentioned the consul. It's clearly a different kind of tight-knit community, a special group. So I just wanted to recognize all who are here. But Samer is of Palestinian descent. He has family roots in Ramallah and Jerusalem, and he brings pride in his heritage and strong values of service, integrity, and perseverance to his role every day. He's a devoted husband with 2 sons, 5 and 2, and we were just talking, I don't know how he has energy chasing a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and then comes to work with a lot of energy, ready to work in the field every day. But I think it's because he loves what he does. He was talking to me earlier, you know, before he came to the city, he was working at a major engineering firm. He could have grown his career there, but when he had the opportunity to come work for the city, he knew that's what he wanted to do, so he could serve the people of Los Angeles. And, you know, that's what we need in our city employees, right? They love what they do. And even when he got here, maybe 1 week into the job, he got another offer from another outside firm, but he chose to stay here. And his dedication has shown on his first day. one of his supervisors was sharing that he came ready to a job site with 7 or 8 books in his hand. So he was not taking any he was taking his job seriously, and he continues to do that. In the inspection world, there's a little bit of pride that comes with a deputy ticket, and I know he's working to achieve one of those. And so we know he loves his job, his work. He's worked on some major projects supporting the Port of Los Angeles with the $52 million Wilmington Waterfront Promenade, $36 million San Pedro Town Square and Promenade, the $21 million Marine Improvement Project. And right now, with all of his experience on those major projects, we have him doing not just major projects, but also doing permit work. And after this, he's going to go run to another project that I know he's eager to get to that's starting. So thank you, Samara, for your dedication to the people of Los Angeles and to the work of inspection and making sure that the city gets the work that we deserve when we invest. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. First, I'd like to thank President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell and Cardenas. It's truly honored and grateful to be recognized today. I also like to thank the Bureau of Contract Administration for the nomination and extend special thanks to Director John Rimmer and all the management who's continually to support and provide mentorship that have played a meaningful role in my growth and professional and personal career. Receiving this recognition during Arab American Heritage Month holds a special meaning for me as a Palestinian American, and it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of representation, and it motivates me to continue serving these diverse communities of Los Angeles with dedication, pride, and strong commitment to excellence in public works. I'm deeply appreciative of this honor and opportunity to contribute to the important work we do every day. And I do look forward to continuing to serve and helping make Los Angeles a safer, stronger, and more resilient for the city. Thank you again.
I would ask Interim Bureau Chief of Engineering, Alfred Mata, to present the honoree Maya Atiyah.
Good morning. Once again, Interim City Engineer Alfred Mata. I want to thank the board for organizing this wonderful celebration of Arab American Heritage Month. As was alluded to earlier, we are a city of many cultures, and we are also a department of many cultures. I've always enjoyed that aspect of working for the city and coming across all the different cultures that exist. And I think it's fantastic that the board does these Heritage Month celebrations to recognize our employees. So thank you for doing this. On behalf of the Bureau of Engineering, we are delighted to honor Ms. Maha Atiyah, a Civil Engineering Associate 4, as an outstanding employee of Arab American Heritage, which is part of this National Arab American Heritage Month, and in particular for her dedication and commitment to her work. Maha began her city career with the City of Los Angeles in the summer of 1986 as a student engineer at the Port of Los Angeles. In 1989, she earned her civil engineering degree from Cal State University, Los Angeles, and soon after joined the Bureau of Engineering Central District Office, where she focused on street design and managing construction projects. She later rotated to the Wastewater Engineering Office to design pump stations before she was promoted to the Stormwater Engineering Division. In that role, she managed National Pollution Discharge Elimination System permit activities for the department, and in 2003, Maha returned to the Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division in the Bureau of Engineering, where she has since worked on numerous projects to rehabilitate the city sewers, as well as to construct new sewers in the city. Because of her contributions while at Wastewater Conveyance and Engineering Division, BOE recognizes her for her exceptional contributions. Over the years, Maha has successfully delivered several sewer infrastructure projects that provide essential service and enhance the overall quality of life in the city of Los Angeles. She is a trusted employee who consistently produces high-quality reports in a timely manner. Her dedication and positive spirit continue to strengthen and inspire everyone who works with her. In October of 2003, Ms. Atia was promoted to the position of Civil Engineering Associate 4 to fill the role as the Program Control Engineer for our capital improvement program that supports the city's wastewater conveyance system. In this capacity, Maha coordinates and updates the schedules, budgets, and expenditures of all projects in the program, as well as periodic reporting of the program's status related to the number of delivered projects, expenditure metrics, and footage of assets installed, whether rehabilitated or repaired. Using her extensive knowledge of the Bureau of Engineering's Uniform Project Reporting System, not a day goes by that she is using her skills to assist project managers and project engineers to stay abreast of their project status. In doing so, Maha has shown herself to be quite agile, and she works with various offices and individuals to ensure the information is kept up to date and to do it in a way that fosters cooperation and gratitude, including the friendly nudging that is sometimes needed of the project managers and project engineers to get that information. Her dedication is clearly shown in instances where summary reports or status reports are needed on a moment's notice. And she steps right up to the plate and seeks to be, and works to get it all done. Ms. Atia is proud of her Arab heritage and seeks to be a model employee that others can follow. And because of this dedication and exemplary work ethic, BOE is honored to recognize Maha as our honoree for National Arab American Heritage Month. Congratulations, Maha.
Good morning, Board President, Vice President, Commissioners, and Executive Officers. My name, I'm getting emotional, I'm sorry, is Maha Atia. I am a Palestinian American. Thank you. I came here when I was 16. I was in high school, and then I went on to college. I worked I've been with the city for 30 plus years. I love serving the citizens of Los Angeles and making a difference. I am a program control engineer working for Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division, and I currently oversee the wastewater program projects. I make sure they are on time and on budget. I deal with a lot of PMs and PEs, project engineers and managers and other divisions. I coordinate all that work, and I'd like to thank all the PMs and PEs for making my job easier. I also prepare yearly sewer rehabilitation report that highlights the wastewater program projects and the number of footage that was rehabilitated during the year. I also work on quarterly reports that are presented to the city engineer, and that highlights the several projects quarterly that the wastewater program accomplishes every quarter throughout the different phases of a project: design, bid and award, and construction. So I like to thank the PMs and the PEs for getting me here today. With that said, I also like to thank the Board of Public Works for hosting the Arab American celebration and acknowledging me to be the nominee to receive this award. Thank you very much. This moment is a good moment, a very great moment especially to be acknowledged by the city of Los Angeles during such a volatile political climate. So I'm very honored to be standing before you today. Thank you very much. I want to thank the interim city engineer, Alfred Mata, and the executive office for nominating me to represent the Arab American Award and be representing the Bureau of Engineering. I also especially want to thank my division head and principal civil engineer, Mr. Edward Arrington. Working for Edward Arrington, he's the elite of engineers. Working for him, you cannot help but do your best work. You do want to produce the best set of plans, the best set of specs, and the best engineering report you can ever do. Mr. Edward Arrington raises the bar every day and pushes you to be your best. So thank you, Edward. I also want to acknowledge Senior Civil Engineer Mary Thomas for her help and support throughout the years. At last, I want to thank my family who woke up early today to be here and support me. My brother, Max Atia, I want to thank him for helping me out through thick and thin, being there when times are good and when times are not so good. Sorry. Also, I want to acknowledge my two nieces, Rawan and Natalie. And lastly, my daughter, Nada. Thank you for making parenting so easy. While I was working so hard every day, she took care of her studies, did not get into trouble, and flourished to be the young lady she is today, a pharmacist working for CVS. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I was remiss, I should have explained something at the beginning. Both of my grandparents were immigrants from Scotland and Poland. I only understood about 80% of what they said, so I forgave them for not speaking English correctly. So I ask the same of you when I mispronounce people's names or Arabic terms, because my language skills are not as good as theirs were. Next, if Principal Civil Engineer Michael Scaduto with Laysan honoree Nabi Akkar.
Good morning, President King, Commissioners. My name is Mike Scaduto, and I have the honor to serve as the Bureau of Sanitation's Program Manager over the Stormwater Program. It's my honor today to recognize Nabi Akkar in celebration of National Arab Heritage Month, as we highlight the contribution and achievements of Arab Americans who help shape and strengthen the communities we live in. Nabi holds a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering from UC San Diego and a Master in Civil and Environmental Engineering from UCLA. He is also a licensed professional civil engineer, credentials that reflect both his technical expertise and his commitment to the excellence of the field. Over the past 9 years, Nabi has been with Ali San, and he's built an impressive record of service. He spent 5 years with the Clean Water Conveyance Division, focusing on the operation and maintenance of Ali San's stormwater and sewer infrastructure. For the past 4 years, Nabi has been with the Safe Clean Water Implementation Division, where he currently serves as a full civil engineer. In his current role, Nabi provides critical oversight on Ali San's emergency storm drain repair program, ensuring timely and effective responses while overseeing each project's budget, scope, and schedule. One of the things I am most impressive that has been most impressive, and I've got to work with Nabi on, is his leadership and initiative in improving the closeout of a project. Nabi has developed procedures and standards to transition a project from the contractor to LA Sands assets and working closely with our operation and maintenance program to strengthen consistency that ensures long-term project success. Nabi's work reflects a combination of technical skill, thoughtful leadership, and a clear commitment to public service. Please join me in recognizing Nabi's contributions to the city and improving the quality of life of our citizens.
Good morning, Commissioners, Vice President, and President. Thank you for allowing me to receive this award. I would like to thank my division manager and the Safe Clean Water and Plantation Division for this nominee. And today my mom is in attendance. I would like to thank her for always supporting me through my professional career. Thank you.
Thank you. And Senior Street Lighting Engineer, my dear friend and one of the developers of today's program, Assad Al-Najjar, presenting the award to BSL honoree Siraj Abu Hosn.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, fellow family of the city. And of course, a special good morning to all the Consul Generals who took time from their busy schedule to be among us. To be an immigrant is not easy in the city of LA. It wasn't easy to start in the city of Los Angeles, but we are blessed to be part of this unified in faith, unified in diversity community. Sometimes I feel I'm more in this room than I'm in my living room after 37 years in the city. The words you come with, Commissioner Grant, always, touch us in the heart. Yes, we are going through hard times. We are broken heart. But even if you're going funerals, it doesn't mean you have to stop and recognize all the hardworking people around you. And this is why we continued to do our tradition today. We have hardworking engineers and personnel throughout the whole city of LA. And that's what makes us unique. We are unique that I could say it, we are the only city that can represent every single country in the world. If we bring a flag from each employee, this room will be full with all the close to 200 countries of the world. And that's what makes us different. We have the family spirit. Being Arab American, being an immigrant, was a challenge and continues to be. But that gives us the energy to go the extra mile, to always deliver solutions, to always deliver to the city what they need. Where I am in street lighting, the word safety is always on the top of our hats. And there is no going back on it. Of course, we're blessed to have a leader who's always pushing us to the next level and saying, okay, we just celebrated the 100 years for Bureau of Street Lighting. And right now, we have one of our top level engineers who's working on the standards for the next 100 years. The standards for the solar lights, the standards of how we're gonna restore our, aging street lights. The poles needs a lot of attention, they need care. And that's where we come all together to be blessed here. Special thanks, of course, goes to Jumana. Jumana and I go way back. I don't want to say how way back because then we'll give up our age, but we do a lot and we thank you for your support. Every year we get the blessing of your support and hopefully next year it will be even much better. And the way we handle it, I mean, we have the Arab Americans, we have the Armenians this month. We're going to do the Asian Pacific next month. And that's where our uniqueness stands. I don't want to take more of your time. Today, we're honoring Siraj, an excellent civil engineer who graduated in 2015. Wednesday marked his 7 years at the Bureau of Street Lighting. He lasted. I mean, I gave him a lot of hard time. He lasted. He worked on many unique high voltage circuits so that our circuits and systems are safe. He worked on the assessment so that we have all the assessment bills and the revenue flowing in the city of LA. He worked on challenging construction when it related to the tunnel lighting. And right now, he is part of the team leading us in the next 100 years of street lighting. And of course, we are blessed to have him in my group. So, and I foresee for him promoting as we progress into the next generation. He's going to be the person taking us to the next level beyond LEDs. Yes, we have LED lighting, but that's only the beginning of halfway. There is plasma lighting coming. There is other technologies. He's going to get us probably into power over Ethernet. And with the blessing of the board and the guidance of our general manager, Mr. Sengalang, who's given us all the power. With him, I feel like I'm in the bunny with the Duracell battery advertising. And with empowerment, we deliver to the city what constituents are expecting. With that, it's my pleasure to honor Siraj for the greatest job he's been doing.
Good morning, President, Vice President, and Commissioners. I want to thank you for taking a moment and recognizing us and our work on a very small level and being a big part of this city. And I want to thank you because since I've been here in the United States, I've changed many hats. I had a total of 11 jobs to make it to this job, and I've been here for 7 years. That by itself tells a whole statement. It's been a rough road. I'm very grateful to be part of this team, and I want to ensure that diversity brings a very valuable essence to the city in general. Because of our background, because of the essential need for street lighting, and the place that I come from, they struggle in providing street lighting for residents. I value being here. I value the service we provide, and I want to continue to grow with the street lighting. I want to thank you again, and have an amazing day.
Sorry, one real quick thing to add, because I just learned this. Apparently, the Bureau of Contract Admin's awardee and our awardee were actually college mates and had not seen each other for how many years now? 8 years? Before reuniting here in this chamber. So a little fun fact for today, and how we bring families back together. Okay, so.
Thank you again, and I take this opportunity for the word of thanks on behalf of the Arab Americans and the Arab immigrants to become from Dr. Hussam al-Din, the Consul General of Egypt, who represents not only the Arab Americans, but Dr. Ali, if I may, you thank, yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Commissioners, Commissioner Grant, distinguished members of the Board of the Public Works. I'm very happy to be here today, not just to join you in celebrating the Arab-Egyptian heritage today, but basically to also celebrate your dedication and your respect and your sumud in acknowledging the value of Arab American heritage and the role of originally Arab immigrants into strengthening various aspects of life here. And of course, as you've seen demonstrated by distinguished Mr. Adil Skander, that he played this amazing music, I think it's very clear that you are fully aware of how rich and wealthy the Arab heritage is on the entire scale, in art, in history, in language, in poetry, in every form of beauty and every form of the search and the quest for the ultimate beautiful and the ultimate better. And I think it's very good to come here today and watch how some very good examples of Arab Americans have integrated not just in the room today to celebrate this event, but rather have integrated in the American society, along with many from my own, from Egyptian diaspora as well, are part of this, and the entire Arab Brotherhood of immigrants within the United States have continued to impress us very much. How they have turned not just to become to seek the dream here, but to be part of it and part of materializing it, and so on. So, Mr. President, Mr. President Pro Temp, I would like very much to commend very much what you have been doing here, to commend the Department of Public Works, who I was very keen to come today because I know you are very much our key partner in the city. And you have done so by reaching out to us, and we are very proud and honored to reach out back. So very briefly, I want to say, I think we have witnessed today these examples within this room of fantastically successful Arab Americans. Outside these rooms, there are millions of very, very valuable and successful models of Arab Americans who have pushed forward the envelope within the quest of the United States to succeed and to be very dominant in various fields and to be the great nation it is today. So I would very much commend considering further in the future holding events outside this room, extending the celebrations throughout the year in various planned activities, and we'll be with you hand in hand in this and celebrating it and thanking you every time. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. With that, we'll have our commissioners provide brief remarks. Why don't we kick it off with Commissioner Mitchell?
Commissioner Grant, you've outdone yourself this year. I want to congratulate each of the awardees. In the field of infrastructure, we cannot do what we do without having the contribution of the carpet, the quilt of society in America. It comes from all over the world, comes from all different languages are spoken. And despite conflicts that some people may have, their respective countries in America, in the city of Los Angeles, infrastructure under the Department of Public Works is delivered on a daily basis with excellence to the nth degree. We stop and think about Arab American heritage this month, but as I say, every month we recognize the history and contributions of all these groups to the fabric that we call Los Angeles. And we're not trying to erase anything. We're trying to basically take a moment to pause and recognize those contributions. The fact that so many consul generals are here, thank you so much for your presence. And the families that are here, both the, families that you live with and born up, as well as your work families are here to recognize that contribution is substantial. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Commissioner Cardenas.
I just want to echo, again, John, that was a great presentation today.
just want to echo that I had the opportunity to talk to a few of you, to a few of the honorees today. It was a pleasure talking to you. And one thing that, as a proud son of an immigrant myself, I understand what it's like to be an immigrant or be a son or daughter of an immigrant. So we have that shared bond. And it's just one of the things that I mentioned when I was talking to some of you is that it's always nice to be recognized, but it's not why you do your work. And that's why it makes it even nicer to be recognized, because you don't do it for the recognition, you do it for, all of you have talked about your working careers here in the city of Los Angeles, and it just shows your commitment to the city, the commitment to your job, the commitment to your coworkers, and to what you want to deliver every day when you go to work. So congratulations to all of you. And one thing that I did learn today is not only did Samir meet his college buddy, but his first language was Portuguese. I would have never guessed that. And fluent in 3 languages, Portuguese, Spanish and English, and a little bit of you working on your Arabic, which is great. But it just shows the cultural diversity that we have here in the city, that we all are part of the fabric. So Samir, felicidades, and to everyone else, congratulations.
Thank you. Vice President Chavez.
Yes, thank you. Arab American Heritage Month gives us an opportunity to not only recognize and celebrate the countless contributions that Arab Americans have made to the city, but as was mentioned during this particular time, it's also an opportunity for deep reflection. And, we know that many of you carry deep concerns about the safety and well-being of family members, friends, loved ones that are abroad, and we see you. We stand with you during this painful chapter, but today's celebration doesn't diminish that pain. It affirms our commitment to supporting one another during these moments, because often moments of joy are also periods of profound difficulty at times. That's how life works. And what my colleague Commissioner Cardenas just said about the shared immigrant experience, I do believe that is a shared experience that many Angelenos experience, and it's part of what makes me so proud to serve in this capacity on this board, is to be able to celebrate that diversity. We don't always have to agree. We don't even always have to like what each other are saying or doing. But it strengthens and enhances our ability to serve the public. And as we celebrate this morning, let us recommit ourselves to fostering an inclusive environment where all cultures are respected and all voices are heard. And let us continue to draw strength from our diversity and work together to build a city that offers opportunity and belonging to everyone who calls it home. And to the honorees this morning, your achievements represent the very best of what the city has to offer. We celebrate you not only as outstanding members of the Arab American community, but as exemplary Angelenos. You are ambassadors wherever you go. You're representing the Department of Public Works and the City of Los Angeles, and you are models to everyone that you encounter. So may this celebration deepen our appreciation for Arab American heritage that enriches our shared culture, and may it strengthen the bonds between all communities that make Los Angeles truly unique. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to echo all of my fellow commissioners' remarks. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done, but especially Commissioner Grant for really helping to spearhead this celebration. And as all the remarks have mentioned, I think diversity is our strength, and Los Angeles is that destination for that diversity. So thank you again, and I want to hand it off to Commissioner Grant to close us off.
To Nabi, Maha, Samer, and Siraj, between the four of you, you design the city, you build it, you inspect it, and you light it up. That is not a metaphor. That is what you do every day for the people of Los Angeles. And today, the city sees you. We will see your names on these certificates, but what we carry with us is something harder to frame. The knowledge that you showed up day after day and made the city a little better. That in a world full of reasons to withdraw, you chose public service. You chose the city. You chose all of us. In this season, it is not a small thing. That's everything. To our counselor guests, thank you. Your presence today told your communities something that no policy document can convey. To Jumana, thank you for building this with me and for reminding us that civic engagement is not a department. It's a practice. It's a daily choice. To Maestro, wherever he is, thank you for your gift of your music today. In the Arab tradition, music is not entertainment, it is witness. And today it was exactly that. And to Assad, who helped plan and shape this celebration from the beginning, thank you. Events like this do not happen without people who care enough to make them happen well. You are one of those people, and this day is better for it because of you. I want to leave you all with the last words of Naomi's poem. Not the famous line, the one that comes after it. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. Today, in this room, we proved it. In this season of all seasons, we proved it. Please go in peace, and please enjoy the cookies and the poem in the hallway outside on your way out. Enjoy the poetry, enjoy the cookies, and enjoy each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that, we'll take a brief recess for a group photo. So if the honorees, Commissioner Grant, where would you like to? Outside? Okay. We'll go to the forecourt for the photo. So if all the family members, our diplomatic corps, our bureau family, and our bureau heads can join us outside in the forecourt, we'll reconvene in a few minutes. The time now is 11:03.
Okay, no eating on the job, bro. Take a break. OSHA rules, take a break. No eating on the job. You need to take a 10-minute break. You can't eat on the job. You gotta take a 10-minute break. Or hasta la vista. You can't be eating on the job. Come on. Come on. Are you alright? You need CPR? Need some leche? Okay. Straight out of Compton. A motherfucker like me wants to come to LA and please you. I don't want to need you. I just gotta say what I say because I believe what I say. Huh? That's too much sugar. Can't have this. My papa. I'll give you a treat after, okay? You have to wait. To you people online, you just missed some very good Persian food. Look, food. You eat, meow, 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 meow. Uh-huh. A little something. It's a little something. I'm the whirling bird. Whirling bird. NWA.
Mr. Knight, since we do have enough commissioners, let's resume while people are making their way back.
Thank you, President Kang. TJ Knight with the, we are now back into record mode. It's 11:19.
Can you please turn down the music, sir? We are back into our meeting. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items, and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We have one in-person speaker. I don't think we have Audit LA in person. Laura FM, nope. F. Emil?
Yes, I'm a badass motherfucker. But the problem here is this. Mini badilik shubit shudo a shubiduk habibiti stani shuwe mini fadlik shubit siwi. Now, these motherfucking illegal immigrants in this country, yes, brought us something. It's called cheap labor. Fucking immigrants with attitude that want free shit. But when I had the opportunity to fix the fucking infrastructure in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles denied me that right. However, due to the Olympics, I demand that Donald J. Trump audit and investigate the LA Olympics for fraud, waste, and abuse for not calculating the infrastructure due to curbs, sidewalks, and streets. Fuck you, Kang.
Thank you very much. We'll transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, thank you, President Kang. We'll start with Jennifer Spencer. Jennifer. We can come back to Jennifer. Audit LA. Audit LA, if you unmute, you'll have 1 minute.
No, I was ready to speak. You didn't put the thing up to unmute me.
Okay, Jennifer, go ahead. You have 1 minute to offer your public comment.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
just to start, being on the Zoom call, I didn't see any of those presentations that were just made. We couldn't see them on the Zoom call. We could hear them, but we couldn't see any of them, and I would have really liked to have seen them. Okay, so good morning, board members. Today I'm calling to ask you to enforce the rules of your permits that you grant the Church of Scientology. Time and time again, Scientology has been shown not to follow rules such as keeping all sidewalks open to the public, stopping events at specifically stated times, or just simply showing authorities that come to events fake papers stating fake rules on them in their favor. For the Easter Scientology event, they went above you to a police department member that they had a favorable relationship with to overrule your authority. The Public Works Board has already started granting Scientology less permits. I ask you now to go further to enforce the ones
That's
you...
60 seconds. We'll move next to Audit LA. Audit LA, please unmute, and you'll have 1 minute to offer your public comment.
Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to hear that we have a lot of wonderful employees working on our infrastructure, but I am asking them and you personally to right the wrongs. I don't hold everyone accountable for not knowing back in all those years before what was going on with abuses of the permits and what Scientology is accused of doing in courts and of law. But now it's different. Now you're fully informed. I put in a formal request to review and revoke the R permit, and I'm asking that you take it seriously. No entity is allowed to just disregard every rule and everything that the city says needs to be done. They violate the R permit continuously. They violate every permit continuously, and it needs to stop. It is not attacking any person. It is attacking an entity that just refuses to play by the rules. We are asking you to right the wrongs that were done all these years ago. And
Thank
please
you.
get,
That's
and going
60
forward.
seconds. And we'll move next to Miriam.
Yes, I would just like to echo everything that Audit LA said previously. It's time to put these efforts into motion. You have got all the information you need to start to revoke the process of revoking the RP permit for Scientology regarding L. Ron Hubbard Way. And in the meantime, stop giving them any permits for events on public property because they are violating every single permit rule that they are supposed to be upholding to. That's all. Thank you.
President King, I do see an additional hand raised on the virtual platform. If you'd like, I can ask if they would like to offer public comment.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Laura F.M. Anderson, would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Hi, good morning. Yes, please.
Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
I want to sincerely, with all the love and respect, echo what Audit LA and Miriam and everybody is talking about. When we're calling and we're saying, please stop giving Scientology any kind of permits, we're doing that on the behalf of people who are being abused currently and who have been abused in the past. This is the children, this is the elderly. These are the current members that they could say for some reason that they don't, that they think we're mad at them or that we're trying to attack them. The complete opposite. We're attacking Scientology's abuses and their manipulation in the city, and attacking the abuses and exposing the abuses allows you guys to know what they're really using the permits for, why they're closing down a street that was once North Berendo Street and somehow got changed to L. Ron Hubbard Way. There's no separation between church and state, and that needs to happen. They are using the church label and the state to interact with each other.
Thank you, Laura. That's 60 seconds. And President King, that concludes general public comments.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close general public comment and move forward with multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. And to all of our speakers, please be specific about your items that you would like to speak. We'll start with our in-person speaker. He is approaching the podium.
All motherfucking items, 1, 2, and 3.
You have 3 minutes, please start.
Regarding the reports for the fucking Bureau of Street Services, fuck Scientology. Regarding the Bureau heads up to date on street lighting on Scientology, fuck Scientology. On the Bureau Contact Administration, no more permits free for Scientology. No fucking religion is better than my God. My God's a real God, the same God that you pray to, the God that hates you, the God that knows that behind your secret closed sessions and behind your permit process, it's illegal, corrupted, criminal, organized RICO crime. It's abuse. Stop it. Stop the motherfucking shit. And then regarding this fucking Armenian shit, we're all the same. I can go to any fucking country and work. So can they. But when you come into this goddamn country illegally, Mr. Cardenas, when they come into this country from China, Mr. Kang, when they come into this country, Mr. Grant, not speaking a word of fucking English, and demand they have rights over American people, that's wrong. And Michelle, she don't care. Her people are always left in the streets. Her people. I'm talking about her people. What do I mean by that? Where are the street lightings on Skid Row? Where are the improvements on Skid Row to provide adequate, smooth surface streets, adequate curb ramps, adequate locations where people who are homeless and black can live without the fear of no fucking lights? Isn't that part of your presentation? Wasn't that part of your presentation, Ms. Mitchell? And you allowed them to grandeur for 1 fucking hour against the American people. God bless Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is my favorite, one and only God who knows how to make problems right. He built a border to keep illegal immigrants out. Now he's going to go after your airports and stop the illegal transportation of cartels and drugs into this country. But yeah, wipe the smile off, Ernesto. I know where Jenny's at. Jenny's behind me in the hallway ignoring this whole fucking 3 items because she don't give a fuck. Why should she? Why should she give a fuck? Not one of you give a fuck. God hates you, you're going to hell. Simplify fucking faggots, right? Faggots. There are faggots in this world that I don't hate, but I sure hate homosexuality. The book of Romans talks about it, and I was right, John. I am a watcher, and God hates evil watchers. Bye.
3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Let's transition to virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll start with Audit LA. Audit LA, please indicate which item you're speaking on. You'll have up to 3 minutes to offer your commentary.
Good morning. I'm going to start with the presentations. I mean, they're long and it's, but at the same time, they're enjoyable. I appreciate learning about the different people and personnel. But I agree with Jennifer, who said, like, we would like to see it too. I wish you could do the camera where we feel like I wish I could have been there in person today, but I can't. But I would like to be able to see it. Then I want to talk to the last item with the street, the Bureau Street Services chair. They know everything that we're talking about. I know you have like probably 10 million emails and just, information. So including the cash report, which shows you how out of compliance that whole area is, okay? Even the street itself, the brick street, is a danger, is not compliant to Willits or to anything, for the ADA. And I'm asking, when are they going to step up? Also, when are they going to step up with the permits? I get it. Maybe you wanted to give them one more chance at Easter. Well, they blew it, and they blew it big. And they are leaving the actual city, they're leaving the city liable to the advertise are going to be doing for the July 4th. And I hope that you do not give them that permit for July 4th. They can have it on their property. Their property is big enough to contain everything that they want to do. They cannot keep violating the rights of the community and of the citizens. And the next one is for the contract head. Okay, you guys have our permit is a contract, and they have been violating. You gave it to them in good faith. They are abusing that good faith by violating it constantly. The city cannot provide proof that they have ever shown proof of insurance for the R permit. Now, they have been, since we've been looking into this, showing proof for the special event permits, but the city cannot provide any unless you can show me for all the years that they've had this permit, over 20 years. And also, they have to have a certain amount of bricks. With the 10% is like 5,000 bricks or more. Where is that? And they also have to behave properly and abide by the law. And having slave labor do security and try to make it seem like it's not a public street is not helping it at all. And and you can see in the CAS report too that they said it does not look like a public street. It is confusing, and this needs to stop. And this is where contracts come in. They can revoke these contracts. It's a revocable permit. So I'm asking you to please, this is to get no entity has a right to live above the law. No entity has a right to snub the city that gives it's these privileges and say, well, we don't care about the rules.
Thank you. That's 3 minutes. And Laura F.M. Anderson, you had your hand up earlier. I'm not sure if you also wish to offer multiple agenda item commentary. If you do, this would be the time to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Do you wish to offer multiple agenda item commentary?
Yeah, I just want to speak on the minutes, and basically I want to echo exactly what Audit and the previous speaker were just saying.
Okay, go ahead.
So again, with the minutes, like, we've offered somebody to help you guys do the minutes. There's no reason it can't be done. If for some reason you can't have Audit or somebody do the minutes who's willing to do it and give their time to do it, then please let us know what we need to do so that the minutes are reflecting what people are calling in about. People are calling in about very abusive stuff that has happened in their childhood with their parents, with their fathers. And sadly, a lot of this has to do with Scientology being permitted these permits and using their revocable permit as an injustice to people who are literally trying to get freedom and get healing in life. And they somehow get attached to Scientology. And now here I am, 40 years later, speaking at Public Works, asking you to please reflect this on your minutes, because we need this for current lawsuits and future lawsuits. We need them to know that either Public Works is being bullied by Scientology, or that Public Works, you're afraid or feared, or somebody there is not allowing. I know you guys have done a lot of work, but again, with the minutes, if you're able to reflect that, that would be super helpful and super appreciated from people that are actively working and dealing with trying to show you the evidence of the permits that Scientology is being given. So if you can have that reflected, we also would like the neighborhood councils to be alerted about this kind of stuff, because they'll start to see in their own city, in the East Neighborhood East Council specifically, that this kind of stuff is happening. So if they're more connected with the Board of Public Works and everybody, then everything can run smoothly, and it would be more clear as to who's causing the infiltration in the city and who's not allowing and who is allowing the permits and who's not writing the minutes and who is. I'm going to yield my time, but please, please stick to that.
Thank you. President King has stepped out, and Vice President Chavez will lead the rest of the meeting, or at least for the next few minutes. That concludes multiple agenda item commentary. Vice President Chavez.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Knight. With that, we'll close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting, and we'll move forward with the approval of the minutes for, let me check the date for a second, April 8th. I'll move. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have the first by myself, second by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. Also, for the record, President Pro Tem Grant has stepped out of the room just briefly. So we'll take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell? Aye. And Commissioner Cardenas?
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
Okay, let's now move on to our agenda items. We're going to take item number 3 out of order and start with our Bureau heads updates. We have 3 today. We'll start with the Bureau of Contract Administration. Mr. John Reamer.
Well, hello, and the morning is still good in spite of the negative comments. Good to be here. Thank you, Commissioners. John Reamer. I am your Inspector of Public Works, the Director of the Bureau of Contract Administration. For those listening, the Bureau of Contract Administration has 2 primary responsibilities: to provide inspection, construction inspection for all construction performed in the public right-of-way, as well as construction by others, as well as city contract, and that on property owned by the City of Los Angeles, as well as compliance as it relates to contractual agreements that businesses have with the City of LA, and wages as it relates to be it prevailing wage, living wage, or minimum wage. We provide business outreach and certification services as well. I thought that the report that I would bring to you this morning with respect to an update would be to give you, from me, your version or your opportunity to hear from me our request, or the request made of us by the City Council to review LA 28's procurement plan. LA 28 has a relationship with the City of Los Angeles. They have a games agreement. There are many things in the games agreement, one of which was for the LA 28 to provide an infrastructure and sustainability plan, which they did. And then inside of that plan, it spoke to a procurement plan that was going to be released in the first quarter of this year, which LA 28 did do that. My comments are framed under the responsibility that I have, the Bureau has, as Inspector of Public Works, in the area of constructability. And in our partnership with the Bureau of Engineering, what typically takes place is the city engineer will design a project, but it will not be advertised, it will not be released until we, the Bureau of Contract Administration, have an opportunity to provide what's called a constructability review. And basically, the designers design it, and those who typically build it take a look at it to see, is this buildable? Do we see anything in here that we may want to change or that's questionable? So before we show it to the world, we can fix it and make it right. That works well all the time. We had hoped that would happen here with the procurement plan, and I say it in this light. In September of 2025, the council requested of the Bureau of Contract Administration to provide a report on best practices to ensure that we could maximize local and small business participation during the games. We did that. We provided them that report in January of 2026. However, before doing that, we worked with LA 28 as well as other representatives from the city to talk about it. What would be the best way to accomplish this? We wanted LA 28 to hear our thoughts and get an idea of what we were going to say, because it was my desire to have a joint report. We did that. LA 28 had the report for a good month. They went through it, they gave reports, their comments back, and we incorporated, I would say, easily 90 to 95% of their comments into our report. We asked that they would do the same thing with their procurement plan, that they would let us take a look at it before it went public. And if not us, someone in the city family, so that if there are any issues that we felt were problematic, we could address them before it went public. To my knowledge, I know for a fact it didn't happen with me. Whether someone else in the city saw it, I don't know. So the plan came out, and the ad hoc committee asked for BCA to review the plan and give reports, give a report back, a verbal report back, which I did Monday. And I'm sharing some of that with you. As I shared with you, I did not see the plan at all until after it had gone public. And I read the plan, I reviewed the plan, and the plan was problematic for me. And I say it in this light. If all of us were to disappear, and the plan is the only thing that's left here, and someone else showed up and picked up the plan and implemented it, then there are a couple of things, many things, but a couple that are really problematic. First of all, local, as the plan describes it and defines it, local for a local business would be any county in the LA region, the greater LA region. LA County, Ventura County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, Orange County, they're all considered one as it relates to local. So when you pick the plan up and you read it, and local is identified, it's referring to any one of those 5 counties. That's problematic for us, especially based on the conversation that we had with LA 28 as it relates to wanting to ensure that City of Los Angeles businesses were prioritized. The plan does mention this term hyper-local, and hyper-local does refer to City of Los Angeles businesses. However, the plan does not give any preference to, deference to hyper-local, other than to say that they exist and there will be an effort to reach out to them, but not a prioritization. That's one. Second thing is the plan does not anywhere mention certification. Nowhere does it mention it. Now, the plan does speak to LA 28's 75 and 25% commitment. 75% of local businesses based on what's called a spend that LA 28 has identified, and 25% small business. But that number is not identified anywhere in the plan. So based on that 75 and 25 of local, we've shared with them, we want to be able to identify who is local and who is really small. In conversations, LA 28 believes that this is, and I really don't want to speak for them, this is a barrier to being able to build a good team of businesses to choose from. So the word certification is not mentioned anywhere. So what we did was, as I said at the table, we made 3 recommendations. First, they had a 6-point plan, they being LA 28. We recommended that it increase to 8. In this 8-point plan, the first point would be prioritize hyper-local businesses. In other words, prioritize City of Los Angeles businesses. The 8th point would be to, which this plan does not do, allow for monthly utilization reports. Namely, LA 28 would provide reports on a monthly basis that showed how they were doing with respect to local participation and small business participation, along with their identified key performance indicators. The third recommendation was to modify a section that they have identified, and the 6 sections that they do have in their plan are, I can read them to you: increase competitive purchasing, right-size contract requirements, prioritize local and small, leverage strategic unbundling, establish subcontracting requirements, and employ pre-qualified vendor pools. The third recommendation was to expand the prioritized local and small to mandate or include that they would require certification from the City of Los Angeles or a recognized agency by the City of Los Angeles, namely the County of Los Angeles or the State of California, several agencies that we have reciprocity with. Those were the 3 recommendations that we made. And as I continue to share what the plan does and does not do for council, the plan does not identify the term addressable spend. It doesn't identify that at all. So the budget arguably is in the neighborhood, the budget of LA 28, $7.1 billion, plus or minus. LA 28 has shared with us that a lot of those monies are already spoken for. They have no control over how they are to be used, in the sense that the International Olympic Committee already has identified businesses and agencies and requirements that they must adhere to. LA 28 is also saying that the sponsors that have come forward, they did not want to have them under this addressable spend, so all of these monies are being taken out. The plan has a term in it called value in kind. And under the definition of value in kind, basically I refer to it as a barter agreement. Meaning what? Meaning we will give you things and you will give us things, but money won't necessarily exchange hands. Meaning what? LA 28 will give rights to any marketing tools. In exchange for that, sponsors would take on responsibilities, take on tasks that LA 28 might have procured. So what that ultimately means is that whatever this addressable spend amount might be, with value in kind, it will continue to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink to the point where it might not be recognizable at all. So because there has not been a clear identified number, which we don't know what it might be, the 75 and 25 don't have a lot of value. That's the report I gave to council. In response to that, a motion was penned this week asking for the Bureau to work with the CLA and go through many, if not all, of the council files related to LA 28 and to report back on where they have and where they have not complied with the agreement. So that's where we are. The plan is not beneficial to what we typically do here and what the city typically does. As it stands right now, I'll take it one step further. The plan as it reads does not state that a small business is a local business. Meaning what? Meaning that 25% small business spend, you could be a small business in Florida, New York, Texas, and they would achieve the 25%. The softball is going to be held in Oklahoma. They could achieve the 25% and never use a small business in Los Angeles. That's how the plan reads. Now, maybe that's not what they meant for it to say. There's a section in the plan that allows for LA 28, as they refer to it as a living document, to modify and change it. And that's why I offered recommendations. Prioritize City of Los Angeles first. Make sure that you have monthly reporting, including your key performance indicators, and also make sure that certification is a requirement so that we can know who we're doing business with. I say that in this light. When the Super Bowl came here, There were many workers that came to the Los Angeles area to work for the Super Bowl. Many workers. They don't live here, but they came here. And they were able to get many job opportunities. That could happen also with the Olympics if we don't have something clearly defined, which currently we do not. So that's what the Bureau has been up to, amongst other things, but I thought I'd share that with you. Any questions you have, I'm willing to answer.
Thank you very much. I think Commissioner Mitchell is itching to ask the first question.
Director Eamon, thank you for your report. As you know, when we first started on this board, you and I started talking about how to maximize contracting opportunities, certification opportunities for the whole package. 7 major events in roughly 3 years. And we were waiting for the LA 28 report. And we thought it would be coming in March, and then we thought it would be coming in later. And recently we talked in the directors meeting about leverage. So as I understand it, and certainly I did review the LA Times article with regard to the council meeting on Tuesday. So I understand that the city of Los Angeles has the fiscal burden for the LA 28 games, but will not have the financial benefit of the LA 28 games in terms of local, meaning either certified businesses, or local, meaning Los Angeles city businesses, let alone county businesses. But it could expand from what their procurement plan says to 5 counties, which I covered in my former life as a Caltrans attorney. 5 counties, and possibly the whole continental and maybe intercontinental United States.
You have brought before you, when the Bureau of Engineering is going to advertise a project, plans and specifications that you approve
Right.
to be advertised to receive bids. And Commissioner Cardenas knows this well. A strategy is a global approach to who will be involved and what we may want to do. A plan, however, is something that I can give to a contractor, I can give to an inspector, and they can take that plan and they can build something. The plan that right now currently exists for procurement for LA 28, they clearly would be in compliance if every business that responded and was identified and selected for procurement in Orange County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, and Ventura County, if that's the only ones they used, they would be in compliance according to the plan. If they use no business in LA County, they would be in compliance. If they use them from Ventura, San Bernardino, Orange, or Riverside, they would be in compliance. If they used a small business under the SBA size standard from Texas or New York or Florida, they would be in compliance. So you have a plan currently as it reads that quite possibly no business in LA, if they were not used, they could still be in compliance. That's how your plan reads. I shouldn't say your. That's how the plan currently reads. The statement was made that, and it says so in the plan, the desire is to present and deliver a safe, secure, fiscally responsible games. There's nothing anywhere that suggests that that cannot happen, prioritizing using City of Los Angeles, County of Los Angeles businesses. But the plan does not do that. So my response to, and my responsibility to council was to let them know what the plan, in my professional opinion, says. And in my professional opinion, what the plan says is we can use anyone we want to, and we don't necessarily have to use City of LA or County of LA because our priority is fiscal responsibility. Therefore, I may do value in kind and eliminate what I have to procure because I have a sponsor that's coming and working with us, and that's going to make it much easier for me to hit my budget. And that's what you have in the plan.
Well, I echo, in that regard, I echo Councilmember Soto Martinez's comments about how messed up that plan is with regard to that issue.
Well, it does not prioritize the entity that's going to be responsible for backstopping any
That's right.
fiscal issue. It does not prioritize businesses that quite possibly will be impacted by, and we want the world to come to Los Angeles. Absolutely, we do. But it doesn't prioritize that at all.
So they could, under the circumstances, hire a security firm from New York or Oklahoma, for that matter.
And the other reason why,
for the game venues in the city of Los Angeles.
yes, that could happen. The other reason why one of our recommendations was monthly utilization reporting, which you require of us. And when I say us, the bureaus, the Bureau of Contract Administration, on all of our contracts. We are monitoring on a regular basis to make sure we receive what we should be receiving. We will never know if a City of Los Angeles business was or was not competitive if we don't have reports showing what the bids were that were coming into you and what the criteria was that you used. Because currently the way it's set up is there is a expression of interest, an EOI, that's placed on RAMP. You fill out a Google sheet, you answer some questions, and based on the answer of those questions, then LA 28 will choose who will be able to compete for the RFP. The criteria for choosing, I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what they're going to decide they will use to determine who gets to go to the next round. That has not been revealed to us. Because it has not been revealed to us, even if we wanted to prepare our businesses to compete, they don't know what the rules to the game are. That's the problem that I find with the plan. It's not personal. It's just an objective look at what it says, and that's what it says. And when contractors come before you, our inspectors know they can never ask a contractor to do more than what's in the contract. And so right now, we cannot require more than what that plan states, and that plan does not do anything to push, encourage, or prioritize City of Los Angeles businesses.
So then the question is, number one, can you provide us a copy of your recommendations and also the research that you're planning to present back to council so that we can at least be on the same point with regard to that? But again, per your earlier discussion, there's not much leverage, if any.
Well, the hope here is the language that I did pull out of the plan, that we can still work with LA 28. That is a hope. They heard the council members. A number was given verbally at the table of $4 billion. But what you say at a table and what's in a plan are two different things. A statement was made at the table, with all things being equal, we will give a contract to the City of Los Angeles business. Okay, well, I don't know what that means.
Right.
Because I have no choice. I do have a choice, but as Inspector of Public Works, it's not about what I think or feel, it's what it says. So with all things being equal, what does that mean, all things being equal? What are all things that could be equal? I don't know what that means. So let's put it down on paper. That's what you do, that's what we do. We establish something in writing so that everyone understands what it means. I don't understand all things being equal, what that means. But that was stated at the table. So if that indeed is true, put it in the plan. So hopefully after the discussion Monday, there will be an attempt, or there will be a desire, or there will be a push to amend the plan, because it's a living document, and incorporate those things that we should all want to see. The one word that is used throughout the plan is the word partnership. Partnership is different from an advisor. I don't see the City of LA as being an advisor here. And that's how we treated LA 28. We gave them our report to give their input. They gave it back. We incorporated it. We didn't get that same opportunity. So if we are indeed partners, here's an opportunity for that word to ring loudly and clearly, and we work on it, and we act on it, and we make those changes. So I don't think it's too late. But now everyone knows what it says.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, John. Have there been any written responses to your understanding of the plan from LA 28 in terms of, because I understand what you said verbally in a meeting. Have they responded in a written form that can be documented as to, how they feel did they feel that you were misinterpreting their plan or anything like that? Because I'm curious to see what their response would be as to, this partnership that we have with, LA 28 is Los Angeles Olympics, not Orange County Olympics, not Riverside Olympics. So I'm just curious if they are going to make some type of written comment back, or if they've reached out to you in any way, or your department.
It's interesting. Councilmember Blumenfield asked, what is your response to the Bureau's 3 recommendations? A, they thought certification was a barrier. B, they thought using City of LA businesses, and the articles speak to that, would jeopardize financial responsibility or fiscal responsibility because it would limit the pool of businesses and artificially drive up the price. And with respect to the monthly reporting, the response was, we'll think about that, but nothing in writing. So that's what came back verbally. What also came out verbally was a number of $4 billion for addressable spend, but connected to that was, but that might change. And that's where and why I brought up, I would love for them to talk to us about their view of value in kind. Because as you read their plan, value in kind clearly is associated with achieving fiscal responsibility, which means to me, that's to me, I would love for them to clarify it for me, but which means to me is I can use this as a tool to reduce the number of contracts I need to bring out and shrink any possibility of me not hitting my my goal. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't have anything clarifying that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, Director Reamer. I know that this, the current situation with the procurement is part of a wider pattern. I mean, the services agreement is, I believe, 6 months overdue for all the extra services that the city's going to be providing. The problem here is that the city, as part of our agreement, is the financial backstop for the game. So we are also financially invested. If LA 28 runs a deficit exceeding 540 million, you know who's on the hook? Us. So you got to remember, put this in the bigger context here. It behooves all of us that this be delivered on budget. With that said, with that financial responsibility, with the investment that we're already making, you know, we need to be smart and strategic about how we are maximizing that investment. And so thank you for your recommendations. I'm wondering wanted to get your thoughts on specifically if you've developed recommendations on targets, for example, on the small business, on the small business requirement, the 75% in the region. Have you proposed a sub-target of how many you would like to see going to just City of LA businesses? So that's one. Another thing is, within the context of what they've presented, are there subcontractor targets that we could recommend? Do you have can you develop, you know, formal bargaining positions that can be potentially included as part of the broader negotiations on the services agreement part? Because that's the opportunity right now. That's the only opportunity that we have. And then also, too, has there been any kind of analysis on the city bidding on certain services that are being contracted out? I mean, I can think of two off the top of my head, which are cleaning and waste management. street cleaning. And I don't know if that was planned on being considered as part of the services, but we should also be looking at, you know, how the city can be bidding on those potential contracts. So just wanted to get your thoughts on those.
No, those are all great questions. Things that we have been in many different ways, from the east, the west, the north, and the south, asking LA 28 since the relationship began. Because how do you prepare a pool of businesses if you don't know what the event is going to be? You just can't do it. As I shared in a panel that I sat on last week, even the United States Olympic team has rules. And one is that you must be a USA citizen. And I'm sure they're going to check. They're not just going to take your word for it. They're not just going to say, oh yeah, I'm a USA citizen, let me be on the team. And then they also have qualifying standards. You just can't go to the Olympics unless you achieve a qualifying standard. So why wouldn't we want to have those things? The notion of certification being a barrier, maybe LA 28 thinks that people have to pay. The city provides that service for free, as well as the county and Metro. But to be more specific in answering your question, we could not come up with a specific because we did not know what they were going to ask for. We had global taxonomy sectors, transportation, security, but the specifics we don't have yet. We still don't have them. So to be able to say, based on the population of businesses that we have in RAMP, for those listening, the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement that the City of LA has as a type of electronic marketplace, and we know what our businesses are certified under, we have no idea yet because LA 28 has not shared that. So you're absolutely correct. It would be great for us to have that conversation based on what they're looking for, not treat it as a trade secret, because you said it well as all of you and the council president, we are backstopping what happens here. And I'm not going to say that using LA businesses are going to cause fiscal irresponsibility. There's no secret that the cost of doing business in LA is different from the cost of doing business in Riverside. It's just different. We have requirements that they don't necessarily have. But I can't believe, because the city of LA itself does not do this, that price is going to be the only driving item that's going to dictate the decision that you make as it relates to procurement, because sometimes it costs more because it delivers better. And if that's not considered, and the only thing that's considered is price, then, so we haven't been able to do that because we don't know the information that we would need.
Thank you very much. I know there's further questions, but I do want to help kind of move things along, and we can definitely circle back with Director Reamer. So thank you very much.
So the follow-up is,
yes,
I will get you a copy of my verbal recommendations, and if it's okay, I'll do it with the report that we're going to send back to council, because we're going to do it as quickly as we can. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I want to invite our director from the Bureau of Street Services up to the podium for his Bureau Heads update.
Good morning, Keith Mosey, General Manager for Bureau of Street Services, Commissioners. Today I'm here to talk about basically an Olympic HLA One Infrastructure project that we're going to be researching on MLK. And I'll talk more about One Infrastructure later as a holistic approach to how we want to do things for the future. But in alignment with the Mayor's mobility goals, as well as the city's preparation for the upcoming major events, including the 2026 FIFA World Cup and 2028 Olympics, Paralympic Games, our Bureau recently completed a major project on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard between Central Avenue and Broadway. This includes installation of 13,642 square feet of sidewalk, 44 new ADA access ramps, and median island improvements between Figueroa and Central. The curb ramp installations were critical to preparing for approximately 6.48 lane miles of resurfacing on MLK between McKinley Avenue and Broadway Place. The proposed resurfacing project is proposed to take place over 3 upcoming weekends, starting this weekend, April 19th, followed by April 25th, 26th, and then May 2nd and 3rd. As with all major projects, the schedule can be subject to change due to unforeseen circumstances. In preparation for the resurfacing project, our Bureau also trimmed 271 street trees and expects to plant up to 63 total trees on the corridor. The Median Island improvements were completed last year through a Clean California grant from the state of California, which include 35,000 square feet of new sidewalk, 8 new access ramps, 106 new trees, 67 which are California native, 3,600 new California native plants, 2,500 square feet of turf covered by California native landscape with efficient irrigation, and 32,500 square feet of new constructed landscape medians were removed. Landscape medians where we removed the asphalt to install native landscape and efficient irrigation. Once the upcoming resurfacing project is finished, DOT will then install bicycle facilities along the corridor in May prior to the road events and festivities. The coordinated nature of these improvements fits in with our Bureau's One Infrastructure concept. Through One Infrastructure, we holistically integrate multiple benefits into street repairs and improvements that maximize our infrastructure investments and ensures that communities see the benefits of our work within a faster, more efficient time frame. The MLK resurfacing project is part of our plan, 16 lane miles of resurfacing in fiscal year 25-26, which is now well underway. And to date, we have completed 9 lane miles of resurfacing this fiscal year. And all of our upcoming resurfacing projects are on our committed list. But going back to One Infrastructure, it's a holistic way that we look at the right-of-way. It's not just, HLA projects, it's not trees, it's not sidewalks, it's all One Infrastructure. So whenever we go out to do a project, I'd love to do the access ramps, the sidewalk, the trees, and then also incorporate grant work where we can to leverage those funds to basically pay for certain things. And also partner with LADOT and others to implement other styles of work that are needed out there in the right-of-way. And that's how we were so successful over the past years to obtain so much money in grant funding, over $500 to $600 million in grant work with that holistic One Infrastructure style approach. And going forward, we will be looking at incorporating more of those style projects when and where we can throughout the entire city. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much for the project update. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Mitchell.
Thank you for your report. One of the things that I at least discussed, I believe, with Shirley about the grant funding that we have, and it came to light about we might lose some of that, is whether we can actually contract out some of the functions that the other bureaus, specifically, I know BOE has some limited resources in terms of its ability in terms of staffing, to do things like environmental reviews and or review documents. So I would like to see, and this is broader than what your report is, I know, but I would like to see if we can actually start looking at other entities to do some of that work that we need on a contractual basis. For instance, Caltrans has a whole environmental unit that's still functioning and not totally contracted out, so that we can possibly get some of those reviews done so that we can actually expedite and utilize the grant money that's available and do some of those projects. Because it's not there, we have some funding issues in terms of our everyday operations, but our visionary type operations, I think we have funding to do, and we need to just identify the sources. If we can't do it within the city, either contract out the environmental, either through other public entities and or even private partnerships to that extent, so that we can get moving on some of the projects that you do have funding for. Okay.
Yeah, that would be good if we could enter into an MOU agreement with, say, with, other entities. That would be great. And so we can definitely report back. I can report back on that, on those efforts.
Thank you very much. Any other urgent questions? All right, thank you very much. And our next Bureau Director and our final Bureau Heads update for today's meeting is from our Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Miguel Sangalang, Director of the Bureau of Street Lighting. Thank you for the opportunity to actually update you on 2 things. Today, I'll be talking a little bit about the recent solar initiative that the mayor had announced a few weeks ago. And then right after that, I'll be discussing the soon to be mailed out, actually being mailed out today, ballots for the assessment and the assessment itself. On the first topic, with regards to the recent announcement and for the solar initiative, the mayor has obviously laid out a goal for us to replace approximately 60,000 street lights over the course of the next couple of years. That will involve two things. It will involve a solar component, which we are working very closely with our sister department, Department of Water and Power, in order to effectuate. And then the other part is going to be about 40,000 LED replacements over the next 2 years as well. That's part of the total 60,000. As I mentioned, we're working very closely with the Department on Water and Power to formulate an agreement between the Bureau, the Department of Public Works, and the Department of Water and Power to essentially deploy tens of thousands of solar fixtures. We have yet to determine the total number, but we estimate between 12 to 14,000, at least this first year, that we would be looking to replace. And that kind of discussion is in earnest, working very closely with the mayor's office on the actual details of the MOU that would be before both of the organizations. There will be a significant amount of engineering involved on our end. We're obviously changing out a major component. We're essentially transforming from one electrical system to another. We have to take into account structural integrity. We have to take into account the availability of sunlight and any obstructions. So lots of things that we'll have to do out in the field and engineering-wise for us. So we're trying to work out then with the CAO's office, with Mayor's office, with the Department of Water and Power, how to actually staff the Bureau properly so that we can actually respond and be as agile as we can be in order to install these units. This was done predominantly by a third-party contractor from DWP, so we are mostly involved on the engineering side, on the engineering and the plan design for the Bureau of Street Lighting itself. As I mentioned, it's going to be replacing in the next year or so between 12 to 14,000 street lights. That sounds like a lot. But I also want to make sure that it's very clear that that does not solve all of the Bureau's problem. We are still actually asking for the assessment that was recently approved by City Council for us to move forward with. This is a great down payment to actually repairing a lot of the infrastructure that the Bureau needs to do. We also need to do the things that are our bread and butter: pole replacement, right, conduit replacement, LED replacement, that are part of the larger structure. So we see the availability of solar for about a quarter of our entire infrastructure. So the Bureau recently reported about 60,000 lights we see as eligible for solar in the long term. In order for us to reach that, we would actually need new resources and new funding sources to try and build that out. The assessment itself is the next topic. I'll pause there to see if there's any questions just on the solar before I go into the assessment.
Vice President Chavez, and then Commissioner Cardenas, and then Commissioner Mitchell.
Thanks, Miguel, for that. I know that the different parties are all working on the agreement. Just wanted to get a better sense of timeline for when that MOU would be coming to this body in terms of what you're anticipating.
I would anticipate MOUs being finalized probably within the next month or two. We are all working very hard to make sure that we have the agreement in place in order for us to be able to deploy as quickly as possible.
Commissioner Cardenas.
Oh, thank you. I had an operational question about the LEDs, and at the various conversations that we had, both here at the board and in person, you were saying that the technology is not there yet for major streets. It's mainly, it's available for residential smaller streets because of the lighting pattern and such. And I just happened to be driving down Roscoe, which is a very large, it's not a residential street, it's a very large street. And I noticed that they had LED solar lighting on that large street. So I was wondering, is it a pilot program that they're doing there to test to see if the lighting is sufficient for a larger street? I'm just curious because I was always under the impression that the technology was not ready for the large, wider streets. I was just wanted to get your input on that.
Right. So it still stands. We're still looking into or searching for technology that can actually light the street on larger scale. We actually see some that are on the horizon that might do that. In terms of that very specific one, I do believe it actually fit within the standards that we have. So it still is, for most major streets, we are actually looking for larger kind of solar panels and output in order for us to do it. I can get back to you on the specifics for Roscoe as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Mitchell.
Well, congratulations on this solar lighting implementation plan. No, it's a long time coming. I would hope that when we start talking about actually putting them in various council districts, that we look at equity in terms of where it's needed most, as opposed to coming up with a formula that we have 15 council districts and therefore we'll allocate it and divide it equally, so to speak. I will, as I mentioned to you yesterday, I've got my assessment letter. You mentioned the reason why I got my assessment letter, not because I might be in the district, but because I had public lighting within 500 feet of, so that is moving right along. The question I have is, I know we talked in the past about this substantial DWP bill. How are we going to offset that?
So with regards to the DWP bill that we have, our hope is that when we have the assessment in place, we would be able to start doing a type of payment plan to address that large kind of bill. So it would be difficult for us right now as the Bureau to handle that within the confines of the current assessment. Again, it's $45 million that we have for the current assessment itself. Nearly 15 million already goes to the DWP bill right off the bat, right? Before we even get into operations, just our utility bill is nearly a third of our entire assessment. So we're looking forward to the new assessment in order to be able to address that.
Thank you very much. And I know you wanted to cover another topic real quick.
Yes. So with regards to the assessment, many of you, as Commissioner Mitchell just mentioned, many of you have probably received the mailers that were mailed out earlier this week. It essentially gives the information about the ballot itself. We are going to be mailing out, in fact, I believe my staff has just literally dropped it off at GSD this morning, and also at the post office, a little bit over 500,000 ballots that are going to be going to our property owners in the city of Los Angeles. Again, the street lighting itself is paid for by an assessment. This assessment is assessed on property owners. Property owners are the ones that are able to vote on whether the assessment will pass or not. What we're looking to do is mail out everything out today. It's April 17th. It starts a 45-day voting period. That 45-day voting period will elapse by June 2. All ballots to be counted must be received on or before June 2. It cannot be postmarked. It has to be actually in our hands, actually the city clerk's hands, in order for it to be counted. After that, the city clerk will tally all of the votes. We have estimates from department that it will probably take between 2 to 3 weeks for all of the expected ballots to be counted, of which then, once we have the results, we'll present it to, I believe, the board and then council in that order for it to be effectuated for the next fiscal year 26-27. A little bit more background on the assessment itself. So what we had presented to City Council is a totally new engineer's report that actually updates the entire kind of structure to current case law and best practices around Prop 218. So we actually have an engineer's report that creates a point system to distribute the value on the points onto the property. That actually then determines how much a property will pay based off of the $125 million budget that we had proposed. That budget itself is based off on a long-term plan that we formulated back in 2022. It was third-party validated by the CAO's office last year, and is the basis then of how the assessment, once it's calculated, once the assessments are calculated, that is the actual basis for how the points are then distributed. Generally speaking, the point system is structured in a way that it's based off of land use times the parcel size. So those are the two main factors when it comes to how assessments are formulated. On our website today is a live calculator. So if you input your address or if you happen to know your APN too, very specific technical language, but if you happen to know that, you'd be able to input your parcel and see what the new assessment would be on your property. I'll pause there, see if there's any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Cardenas and President Pro Tem Grant.
Yeah, I received my flyer yesterday and shared it with some neighbors. Just two questions. One, is that information on there or the website on there where you can check your assessment value? Is that on the flyer? I didn't see it. I wasn't looking for it. But.
Yes. So if you go on the flyer itself is our website. It's LAcity. I'm sorry, lalights.lacity.org, and then it's I believe /
So it's on there.
It's on the website. On our website itself, if you go to again lalights.lacity.org, look under residents and then Prop 218. It's also there. And so you will have all of the information that I mentioned, from the engineer's report to the council files to the calculator itself.
Second question, what is the process for, say this goes through and the new assessment is in effect? What happens with new lights that are put up with, say projects are being developed, empty parcels are being developed and new lights go in? Is it automatically at the new assessed value? What's the process for new lights being installed after the fact?
Right. Any new lights in the city of Los Angeles would still have to follow Prop 218 procedures. So if there's new lights added, property owners would then vote that are affected for the new ones. With regards to the structure, it would adhere to the new assessment, new engineer's report. We're essentially replacing the old system with the new system, replacing the old assessment with this new assessment.
Thank you very much. President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, Miguel. I too received my glossy printout of the assessment and sharing it with my neighbors. The question came up, since it's not registered voters who are voting, that it's property owners, how were the ballots cast or counted, since you can't put them in the machine?
Yeah. Yes. That is a very long, I'm going to give the answer, but it is also, it's interesting because Prop 218, especially how the assessment and the Bureau of Street Lighting is funded, it follows the special benefit part of Prop 218. So it's even stricter. We have to have an engineer's report. There has to be a portion benefit is then the value that you pay. So there's a few steps there. Ultimately, the point system actually, I'm sorry, you have two questions. I'm kind of explaining the point system again, but the votes are determined by the assessment of value. So let's say if both of us had, let's say I had two properties, you have one property, my two properties totaled $8 and yours was $10, your vote would win because your assessed value is higher. So it's actually by weighted vote of the assessed value. It would be 50% plus 1 in order to be either rejected or approved. Because it had gone through city council process, it's essentially in effect unless protested against, right? So it's actually a protest vote in order for it to be effectuated.
Just the other thing, I know that there's a statewide ballot measure that's being contemplated that will demand 2/3 vote on any tax increase, which would, I guess, could in future jeopardize these property assessments as well. So I think we should get this done over quick.
That would definitely have an impact on the assessment itself, yes.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. All right, Commissioners, going back to our consent item number 1, I'll move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kane. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 1, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas?
Aye.
All ayes, and item 1 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you. And our last item for today, item number 2 from Sanitation, CD 11, request for authority for Brown and Caldwell, Inc. And thank you for your patience.
Of course. Good morning, Board of Public Works. My name is Christina Jones. I'm here for LA Sanitation and Environment. For the item number 2, which is request for authority to award task order S-072 to Brown and Caldwell to provide urgent operation and maintenance services for the Hyperion Advanced Water Purification Facility. This task order is in the city's benefit to directly award to Brown and Caldwell. They are already currently providing these services. Actually, I shouldn't say currently, our contract just ended actually. So it ended in the end of March, right before we had our ribbon cutting, and they were providing critical process engineering support as well as maintenance support. And this role we sadly need to continue on, and I only say sadly because we were hoping to have city staff fulfill some of this work, but we were unable to fulfill all of our vacancies in time. So it is very critical that we have Brown Caldwell continue this work so that we can maintain this brand new facility at the required levels to meet our needs. This water that this project is producing already goes to Hyperion. So Hyperion is effectively no longer using potable water for its industrial purposes, which is great for Hyperion. And we hope that LAX will be online as well soon to take the other half of the water that we can produce. The timeline that I was provided by DWP is actually this summer, so July or August for LAX to come on board and take the other half of this water. So this project plays a critical role in our Pure Water Los Angeles program. And again, it's a big way for us to show the public what recycled water looks like. So this project in and of itself plays a lot of different roles in recycled water and the city of Los Angeles's water future. And this task order will support the operations and maintenance. It will also support process optimization, process engineering support, and provide, if we needed, a contract mechanism to purchase critical parts and chemicals if we do not have an existing city contract already. So that part of this task order will hopefully not be needed, but we will see. Time will tell. The term for this task order is 12 months, not to be extended. And if sanitation did choose to go forward with this work in the future, we will go forward with a more normal operation of a task order solicitation process. So this is a unique offering. The total budget is $8,633,680. And again, it's for a term of 12 months. Happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Really quick, you mentioned that sanitation was not able to hire all the vacancies. Is it still the plan to kind of ramp up hiring to make sure that we have an adequate staffing?
Yes. So the positions that were approved in this last fiscal year's budget, there was a handful of operations positions and a handful of maintenance positions. We've been working with Hyperion's personnel to prioritize hiring for all of Hyperion since about October of last year. The operations positions, by and large, have been filled. However, the maintenance positions have not. It is our intention that in the next 6 months, those positions will be filled. And we will be keeping a very close eye on it. And by we, I mean myself as well.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President King. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 2, starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. Aye. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 2 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. With that, Mr. Knight, I believe that concludes our items for today.
Yes, it does, President.
Our next meeting of the Board of Public Works will be on Monday, April 20th, 2026. The meeting now is adjourned at 12:33 p.m.